Did you know that your gut may be the reason why you can't handle cheese or wine or even leftovers? Let's connect the dots between histamine intolerance and gut health so that you can start to feel better. In this video, we're going to cover that connection and give you some root-based strategies to help overcome this problem. Tag someone you know that may not be able to have leftovers or wine anymore so they can hear this. When you have excess histamine in the gut, this creates excess zonulin, which then creates a leaky gut, causing more and more inflammation that also could become systemic. But you also have other things that are causing this histamine excess. When you have gut dysbiosis, where the microflora are imbalanced, you will have some of these microbes that will produce excess histamine. But you also have some microflora that break down histamine or degrade histamine. So we want a healthy balance. And if you're out of balance because of microbes, toxins, or stressors, unmanaged stress, and also untreated traumas, this can create a problem for you. So working on that will actually help to decrease the histamine along with the good bacteria. SIBO, or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, is another condition that can create histamine chaos. This is where you have migration of some of the microflora from the large intestine going into the small intestine. This can cause bloating, gas, and other difficult problems in the gut. Root cause medicine isn't just guessing. It's guided by real data. So some of the testing we use for this condition are things like a stool analysis test. We might look at an organic acid test, and then we might look at inflammatory markers in the blood work. These will guide us to help us to understand more of your case and get to the root cause of it. So how do we go about fixing this so that you can get back to eating cheese, having some wine, and having some of those leftovers? I use the 4R method on this. First, we remove those things that are causing histamine, including the microbes that are responsible for excess histamine. You also want to avoid antibiotics as much as possible. And if you do have to take those, then taking probiotics will actually help with that. So in addition, you want to remove those foods for a time that you know that you're allergic to. And then after we clean the gut up, we can reintroduce those back in. The second thing is going to be repair. Want to repair the lining. There are many good products like glutamine, deglycerinated licorice root. You can use things like butyrate and others to help rebuild that. Also zinc, kerosene is helpful, and a bunch of other ones. And then you want to rebalance the microflora using some prebiotics, preferably fiber, preferably the non-histamine types like inulin or glucomannan and others. And then you want to reintroduce those foods back in. Another thing you have to look at potentially is a low FODMAP diet if you are dealing with the SIBO. So doing that for a time and then going back and introducing these foods back in your life. Now, again, you may have to only be able to have them for once or twice a week, or you may be able to have them more often. But once you clean this gut back up, you'll see that you're going to be able to have some of these foods again. Here are some supplements to use while you're going through this process to help keep the inflammation low. HISDAO is a good one, or diamine oxidase enzyme. Vitamin C, quercetin, rutin, lutein, turmeric. These are all good to help to reduce the inflammation, but they're not getting to the root cause. Along with the stuff we just talked about, the supplements, we also have tools for you that I think will help. Now, during this time, you want to still avoid the foods that you're reactive to, and then we'll reintroduce them at the end of this. But here are some tools. Sunlight and grounding are really important for giving you vitamin D and also helping you reduce stress. Exercise like walking and weights will help to modulate your stress as well. We talked about how stress can be a part or one of the root causes of this problem. So making sure you're having a consistent exercise program is important. Sleep is another one that you have to have consistently. So working on having a consistent pattern of going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, and then trying to do that throughout the week. If you don't get enough sleep, your immune system gets suppressed, which is then going to make you more susceptible to these things. Histamine is part of the immune system. So working on a good sleep schedule. And then things like saunas and detox baths will help to decrease things as well. Adding magnesium and P5P, these are helpful in sleep and also helpful in the degradation of histamine. And then lastly are going to be things like breath work and neurofeedback like DNRS, the Gupta program, or limbic system rewire. These are all great tools to help you deal with past traumas, deal with your autonomic nervous system, and help to regulate that. Remember, you're not broken. Your body is just overloaded, like a bucket that has too much stuff in it. With these tools and these supplements, we can reduce the amount of stuff that's in your bucket so your body can tolerate more. If you'd like to know more, head over to my website. I've got a new blog coming out called Managing Food Sensitivities and Allergies, a guide to understanding histamine and how to support your body. Hope you check it out at functionalhealthtn.com, and I'll see you in the next video.